What we are not is of time. Yeah. And in this moment of time, you're not going to get out of you. This is the point of the message. Any attempt to get out of you is the you, so to speak. Yeah? This is a sort of like a sublime, not sublime, but a dead-end type futility that the mind just looks a different way. Yeah? It stops looking from self, this idea of you, and then it sees it. And really, the closest that the mental activity can arrive at self is selfing. Yes, there is no self, there never was one. But the selfing implies in time that we already are one. So when we're listening, and who's not going to listen to the only radio station? You're going to probably tune in and listen to it. And that radio station has you as already a thing. Yeah. So that thing that's already a thing, that's never been a thing, can't get out of the thing. And this is the message. I think there was a guy, U.G. Krishnamurti, you ever hear of him? I think he was saying, I don't know if he was saying the same thing, but basically he said, you're not getting out of here or something, right? You're just a body and whatever. And it's true, I feel, in a sense. But there's something that's never been in here. See, that's the thing. Now, the something that's never been in here is in its own space of time, which is not time. Yeah. So, and there's a feeling that's different. Like when you get an aha, the aha is about something you already know, usually, right? You think it's not like a new idea, it's like a realizing another idea that's never been gone. Yeah. So, and this message doesn't take any time because it's not of time, because you already are that. The only thing that you may seemingly need to do is negate the other activity. Yeah. How do you do that? Not as the other activity. When you're trying to negate the other activity, it's reinforcing the other activity. You negate it from seeing it, not from time. I don't know how to, you can't, but you know it already. You see a lot of moments out of time, yeah? Those things are forgotten completely, very quickly, and the head just keeps reinforcing the story that you're not going to become something, but if you're going to try to become something, you're going to try to become something from a something, yeah? So there's always going to be a something. You're looking for another something, let's say, but you're looking for that as a something, and this is the whole point. You're not a something. And then all of these things that keep getting reinvigorated, and you keep going. And I saw it in drug addiction, yeah. And then I felt the farthest I ever went in anything was drug addiction. And when I got whacked or hit that wall, it just backed up and went another way, spirituality. And then when that didn't work, it was some other way. Or usually then it became a mixture of things, like a synthesis. So just like they do in retreats sometimes now, they add a lot of shit. There's tantra, and then there's this, and there's maybe cooking classes and all like this. So because it's just, the drive to get out of you is really the you, yeah? Because getting out of you reinforces the you, yeah? Now, the out is that you're not in. That's the thing. And that doesn't have a repercussion into the opposite. It doesn't. It doesn't go, you're not in, and you're going to get, but you're in something else. No, it's just you're not in, yeah? And so then that in, out, in, out, in, out gets stopped, because the out is the biggest in, yeah? Mostly more people are in this idea trying to get out of it. Not people, but you know what I mean? There's the getting out of it is the biggest aspect of it. But we want to get out of it as it. So it gets to an extreme where you want to experience your own absence. You want to be there to get it. And this is the beautiful news. That which is that motivation and that drive isn't you. Yeah? And the reason, the great reason you're never going to get it is because you are it. Yeah? Now that can never get it. Yeah. So what's the best thing it does? Its failures are a certain success. Yeah. When after you realize that you'll never get back, you'll never get back, you'll never get back, someday you may trip over the idea that you've never left. Yeah. Now non-duality triggers that trip. So it doesn't have to be, you know, like an accident. It can, if the non-duality understanding triggers that, yeah, it triggers that whack, yeah, and then it explains why you can never get back, because you never left. It's incredible, yeah. And then let's say that door changes, and then suddenly a lot of the other doors you see the same thing. You see the same thing, that you're trying to get out of what you're not in, and you're trying to get into what you're not out. You're not, but the head is. This is the great news. The language sounds like it's always you doing it, but it's not you doing it. It's mechanical. Yeah, and it's not AI. It's not growing into a new understanding. It's getting every new understanding translated through the old understanding. It just doesn't. It tries to get constantly new understandings, but what's going to hold that understanding is an old understanding. And the old understanding, just like that story about the cameras, yeah, someone reminded me of that thing when I was on this trip. That idea of there's that huge camera, has 360-degree HD, it has a mobile tripod, a solar panel powered. It's incredible. The colors of its pictures are unbelievable. And there it is doing its, we're walking around, and it sees this little, like ground up, like a cardboard little camera. If you want to stretch the definition of camera, it's called a camera. I used to use them in Asia a lot. And you would get this thing, it has a plastic lens and only one roll. And you would get maybe 12 pictures out of it, no more, and you bring it to the pharmacy, they develop it and throw the fucking camera out. Yeah. So there you are. So this big, large camera is walking around, sees this thing, it's curious, looks through it, and as it looks through it, it forgets itself, seemingly, by thinking it's the smaller camera. Yeah. Now, all of the imprisonment and everything else that may happen after this is not a real effect, because it's not the smaller camera. But it's having effects or feeling defined or not feeling adequate enough because everything is being translated through the smaller camera. Yet this larger camera has not lost any aspect of it. It's just not accessing it. So, and this is when it gets trippy, because it's looking through a plastic lens, can't see much. So it usually just hopefully points and hits and hopefully gets a picture. So of course it wants to get better or improved as the smaller camera. So it saves money, and it buys an incredible Nikon lens. Yeah, thinks this is going to work, and it puts on the camera, but what's the first lens? It's not the Nikon lens. The first lens that's looked through is the plastic lens. And the plastic lens neuters all possibility of the improvement the Nikon you had hoped in, yeah? Because what you see through first is going to define how you're seeing after. So you're seeing through this plastic lens, and then it goes through the incredible Nikon lens, but the biggest influence, the Nikon influence, is completely neutered, and the plastic lens wins out, so to speak. Now, if you could see from the Nikon lens, you'd probably get a moon-like recognition of the cardboard camera, but you can't. You're looking, if you have this vague idea about the big camera, the only way you can entertain it as a cardboard box is that I'm, as the cardboard box, is going to experience the big camera. So even the presence of the big camera isn't triggering the recognition. Yeah, it's claimed by the small camera. Yeah, and now the small camera has you buying tons of Nikon lenses, only to neutralize any effect they could ever have, except on your pocketbook and shit. Yeah, and of course, if you buy a lot of shit, you're gonna act like it worked. Yeah, because you don't want to look like an idiot. Yeah, I remember when I used to buy all that stuff for my gut. You know, I was trying to convince myself it was working because I just spent $2,000 this year taking it religiously and shit like that. So here's the thing. Everyone now is talking to the large camera as the cardboard box camera, yes? But one person goes by and sees the larger camera and the cardboard box, but talks to the larger camera and says to the larger camera, you're not that. Finally, yeah, the larger camera entertains that possibility, and whammo, it hits the lotto. You know, it wins because it's not that. That's the whole point. It's not that, never was, never will be. So suddenly it seems to reclaim or find this vast resource of being the larger camera, but it's not the case. It never had lost it. Yeah, nothing had actually happened. It was like the Course in Miracles says, it was a causeless effect. Yeah. See, it thought it lost all of these qualities, but it was a causeless effect. It wasn't the cardboard camera. It never will be, never is. Yeah. This is the beauty of non-duality. This is not, oh, you recognize something and then you undo it. No. You recognize something as not you and you don't do shit. It's quite disarming. You don't. You watch, it can happen slowly or quickly. Your spiritual pants fall down and there you are. Yeah? Yeah. So the whole point of this talk and every talk is really not to talk to you. I'm sick and tired of talking to yous. It's to talk to that which is there, which is here now. And and maybe repetition will help, because all you need, it's sort of like spiritual sperm, you know what I mean? Only one sperm has to get through. And like a good spiritual teacher, it releases millions of sperm, yeah? Because all it needs is one sperm. Now, which one, we don't know. So here you go, a lot of spiritual sperm, and one hits the mother egg, and then the mother egg conceives of something, and what is that? I'm not that. That's all. It doesn't say, I'm this, and go off into incredible descriptions of being everything, all there is. Do you actually feel that as you're working through a Wednesday or Thursday? Probably not. Yeah, because the action figure really can withstand a lot of spiritual storms. It just weathers them, and it just keeps on keeping on. Yeah. And if you're starting there, it's not afraid of all your little ventures and all of your amazing things, because it's the one that's doing it all, seemingly. There's no problem, and nothing is a threat to it because you're doing it. Yeah. Non-duality negates that, and you're just left with what's happening. Yeah. And then maybe how you see what's happening will change actually what's happening. Yeah. So it's a simple invitation, really. And what arises and thinks it needs to do something will be a beautiful recognition of what you're not. Yeah. And instead of how the head has been using everything to imply what you are, we're going to use the same head ticker tape, the same, miss and dissent information that comes through, and we're going to greet it with, I'm not that. It's simple. Yeah. You're not going to have to stand like a sentinel and say, not that, not that. It'll take a little time, or I don't know how much time, probably not much. and you'll know that it's true. And so you won't be going, not that, not that. Your reaction, or the reaction to all of that streaming, will be not that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be followed or captured with a statement. It's just, you see it now. Yeah. And what happens? First of all, you don't really give a shit. You don't, so you're traveling lighter because you're not checking in to see if you're traveling lighter. You don't get like rulers and things, how to measure and everything. You don't care anymore. Yeah. You realize you're never going to get out of here as here. This. It's great. Yeah. So transcendence is gone. 11th dimension, let's create our next life or whatever. All this magical shit to try to feel better about never getting out of here. Never getting out of here is the final infinite disclaimer of what you're not. That's all. And then, I don't know, you're here on a whatever it is. And the funny thing, every thought that's come through this head for months, none of them have been kept. You know what I mean? No thoughts that have gone through today are in my pocket. They just seem to be, there seem to be little bubbles that hit a surface and pop, and then they're not to be remembered. Yeah. And the beautiful thing is, seeing the thoughts are emphasizing the awareness, not the thoughts. Where before, seeing the thoughts as mine, I lost the emphasis of awareness, and I was seen as the doer or the thinker of the thoughts. That has changed. So yeah. So now the thoughts are seen, but the sense where you are in this little situation is at the point of awareness, not after the point of thinking of things or feeling things or whatever. Yeah? Yeah. I hope it helps. A little recognition of this goes a long way in time. It does. I mean, the greatest qualities or greatest solutions in time are not of time. And we're not of time. So we actually are the solution we've been looking for. Or it says, what's looking is what you're looking for. And what are you usually looking for? A solution to something. And basically, what's looking is the solution you're looking for. Yeah? Yeah. The seeker is the sought. So seekers seek a lot of solutions. Yeah? So the seeker is the solution. Not after it lifts a lot of spiritual weight or makes amends for everything it ever possibly done, or any time you stepped on anyone's toes. No. All of that is dealt with when you're in Rome, as the Romans do. Yeah. But you're inherently what you're looking for now. So what is it going to affect? You're looking for it, obviously. You're going to never look for what you are ever again, because you're looking from what you are. Yeah, nice. Here, it's the last answer. That's an incredible answer. Usually answers start in a period of time, you look for other answers. Yeah. You want to add something or synthesize something else. It seems to be a combination of answers, because no one answer answers everything. But to me, this is the last answer. Though it's the first answer. Yeah, it's here in time, it's the last answer. Yeah, and the last answer is pretty good, because it takes away the need for any other answers concerning this topic. Yeah, now you can be concerned about other topics. Yeah, yeah. And with the knowledge that all topics come and go. So really, are you going to get that steamed about something that's going to come and go? I don't think so. No. So, yeah.